The stage has been complete for a new session of Fire Emblem Three Houses. I am back for more. I am back for more of the Crimson Flower Route. We are just mere chapters away to end the war
I have gratitude.
and rule over Fodlan, over the craziness of Lady Rhea and her follower, Dimitri. It might be in this mission or maybe the next mission. But at this point, it's like, should I even need to train more? Like, I have some of my characters at like level 50. Yeah, if I can go to my goals here. Yeah, Edelgard's at 50, Hubert, Ferdinand's at 47, Linhardt's 57, Bernadetta. I have Lysithia at 37. She's like a smaller healer, but I don't know if she will survive anything. But yeah, I think at this point in the game, or this route, like, do I even need to have any more training? Like, I could just max out their mandatory skills and get them at a certain level so that they're good for the rest of the game.
May I ask?
Death is an inevitable result of military conflict. Not only soldiers, but also war horses, who have no say in their line of work, lay down their lives on the battlefield. What steps can a commander take to minimize this loss of life? Stop riding horses. I'd say durable armor for the horses.
Okay, that is a
Yeah, since Hubert and Linhardt have been riding horses, you can actually see them having armor. But yeah, since we're close to like finishing this game or this route, then I feel like we're at a good enough spot for at least like a level 50. I don't know how people do it with
We've got this.
This should be.
I don't know how people do it, getting them to like level 99 and stuff like that. I don't know how they do it. So that just pretty much ends the week. Got Lancebreaker for Yuritsa. That's pretty much it. But yeah, I think the biggest part for this month now is just exploration and supports. Yeah, so right now people are doing battle because there's a rare enemy in the battlefields. But since I did battling last week, I might as well do the monastery this week.
Ah, the smell, the texture, the smooth finish. This region's tea is the finest in the world.
Hello, Ferdinand. You seem to be in a good mood.
What is that supposed to mean? Perhaps you expected me to hold a grudge against you after our duel. In fact, I have moved on.
Have you now? Well, I'm glad to hear it.
I took it hard at the time, I will confess. I always thought that I equaled you in skill, or even surpassed you. But you showed me that I do not come close to matching your talents. Yet a true noble does not give up in the face of defeat. I will continue my training, and one day I will be an elite warrior. That is the path I must take, as a noble and a man of honor.
You really are in a good mood. Your determination is admirable.
Yes, one day I will surpass your abilities, and I will defeat you in combat.
Ferdinand, there's something I've been meaning to say to you for a while now. Honestly, I couldn't care less that you are of noble birth. Your fierce determination doesn't come from your bloodline. It's your own doing. The reason I value you and want to be friends with you is because of who you are, not who your family is.
I have something I would like to say to you, too. Certainly we must recognize the common folk who strive for greatness and attain it. But for those of us born into nobility, things are more complicated. From birth, nobles must excel. If we do not, we will be forced out of our houses. This environment breeds superior individuals, and they in turn recreate the rigorous environment for their own children. Without that cycle, there would be no political elite guiding the world towards prosperity.
So you're saying that the kind of world I'm striving to create is wrong?
I would not go so far as to say your way is wrong, just that another way might be better. If you insist upon undoing the nobility, then we must build something in its place. We can provide free education for all, and then select the highest performing students for more intensive training and tutoring. I truly believe that people are products of their environment.
Finding a way to educate the people. Interesting. I'm impressed by how much thought you've given this. No matter what shape the world takes, I'm sure I'll always need people like you by my side. People with strong principles who will argue with me and force me to consider ideas that are contrary to my own.
Yes, exactly! Finally, Edelgard, you appreciate how important I am to your cause.
I've always thought of you as a valued friend, Ferdinand. That's nothing new.
Edelgard, I have to tell you something. I think now is the right time. Do you know what my ancestor Derek von Eyre said after your ancestor defeated him? He said, "You are an imperial beauty. Please, accept me as your husband."
Halt, Ferdinand. There's a time and a place for everything. But that time is not now.
I don't think she is the one for marriage. I don't think she is the type. Also, yeah, Ferdinand has definitely felt smarter than what he used to be back then. I'm actually proud of him.
Here again, I see.
Of course, Your Majesty. I couldn't investigate this place freely when those of the church were around.
Understandably. Now, about my proposal to create an institution for Crest and Relic research. I've decided to move forward with it. As for who will lead the charge...
You want me to be in charge of the thing after all, don't you?
Actually, no. I was just considering some conditions for whoever applies for the job.
Conditions? What kind of conditions?
To start, I won't allow the position to be a secondary one. That excludes lords who are busy looking after their own territories.
Are you suggesting landholding lords would have no means of applying?
Quite the opposite. I'm looking for applicants with enough passion for the job that they're willing to relinquish any landholding rights they possess. They will be provided with necessities like food, clothing, and housing, but will receive no further compensation. That said, they will be free to take as much time off as they desire.
Do you expect anyone to be interested in such an odd position?
That's my hope.
Have you gone mad? Demanding someone rescind their land rights and then provide no compensation? Even the unlimited time off is a rather
Not to mention free vacation.
No one would accept room, board, and endless time to research. No one but me. Why must you...
Why must I what?
Why must you understand me so well? I asked you to consider the feelings of those below you. I never expected you to consider mine to this extent.
I told you I'd figure out a way to make use of your talents that you'd find acceptable.
Honestly, no woman has ever gone through this much trouble for me before.
Then have you decided?
Yes, I have. I would be most pleased to accept your offer, Your Majesty.
Good, you're hired. Would you like a job starting now? Why would I? You're fired.
Edelgard, do you have a minute?
You want to speak with me? How unusual. Please, come in. I'll prepare some tea for us. Have a seat. Would you care for some cake?
Yes, please. I never say no to sweets.
They're from Enbar. A bit too sweet for my own liking.
Isn't that the whole point of cake? Well, more for me. These are fantastic with this tea.
True. Well, there's no shortage of them. Help yourself to as many as you like. Now then, you wish to speak with me?
can tell you know a fair bit about me.
Maybe this can wait until you've finished eating?
Edelgard, you know a fair bit about me, don't you?
What in particular?
For example, the fact that I have 2 crests.
Oh, that's hard to believe.
Really?
No need to play coy with me. It won't work. It's clear my body has succumbed to the intense pressure of bearing 2 crests. Due to the immense requirements of bearing these crests, my life expectancy is painfully short. You know all of this, right?
Actually, this is the first I'm hearing of it. How would I know unless you told me?
Still won't drop the act, huh? Despite how obvious you've been with your concern about my health, you're certainly consistent. I'm not really in the mood for these games. Given your rank, you certainly have access to all kinds of information that others do not. Clearly, you'd have heard all about me.
Either way, I know now since you just told me. About your 2 crests, your physical weakness, and your short life expectancy. However, according to the principles of crest research, it's impossible to bear 2 crests. Unless you've undergone a blood reconstruction surgery. Is that the case, Lysithea?
Correct. It wasn't as though I had a say in any of this.
I see. So you've lived through that relentless terror and agony, and survived.
You speak of all of this as though you understand it on a personal level. Edelgard, have you?
You're a good friend, Lysithea, and a valuable member of this army. So I won't have you overexerting yourself. I don't want to lose you. Understand?
I understand.
Good girl. Oh, and if you like those cakes, why not take some with you for later?
There's no need to pander to me, but yes, I'll take those. Thanks.
No. Maybe. Yes. Wow, okay. Lysithea also has 2 crests, and I think that's what Amanda was talking about. That bearing at least 2 crests shortens your lifespans. Damn, that must be hard. It's no... I take it that's the reason why she lost her family too, is because of the crests. Like... I think... she's been telling me, and I probably read it to you guys too, that it can explain, but it also cannot explain, no matter what path you're going for. It doesn't explain everything at the end. I don't think, but I know that having 2 crests with you can actually kind of like kill you in a way. I think that's what I'm going for here.
It's strange. I never thought you and I would be able to sit together and drink tea like this.
Drink tea, you say? But that does not smell like tea. The aroma. Would that be coffee by any chance? Imported from Dagda, I believe. I do not care for it myself.
Your knowledge is impressive. Although I should expect nothing less from a noble, I suppose. Lady Edelgard surpasses you in nearly every respect. But I think when it comes to positivity, you may actually exceed her.
Excuse me?
In a way...
There he goes, comparing to people again.
But even so, your relentless optimism... Well, suffice it to say that it is your best...
I swear he stopped doing that to Petra, but he's been doing it to Ferdinand this whole time.
Constantly striving to grow as a person. To seek new knowledge, to push new limits. When others might get distracted or abandon their path, you never yield. In that aspect, at least, I think you are unmatched.
Hubert, are you alright? Do you have a cold? Or the plague? Am I hearing a deathbed confession?
It was only a compliment. There's no need for such dramatic exaggeration.
Dramatic, you say?
I do my best to analyze others without emotion. Even if I find you to be a contemptible degenerate, I can still evaluate your abilities in an impartial way.
So, because you assess people without emotion, you are totally confident in your appraisals. It seems I was wrong about you.
Huh. You actually understand.
Please, do not compliment me again, though. I find it quite unsettling. It is like hearing a snake sing an aria. At least put it in a letter next time.
In the very unlikely event that there is a next time, I promise to put it in writing.
I take it that's what's going to happen in the next conversation. Still, though, like, he judges people a bit too harshly. At least I don't think. There is one with Lysithea here and Linhardt, but I'm not sure about that. I'll go with this one, since it's the last one.
Lysithea. It's wrong to tease, yet I can hardly help myself. I know a secret. Your secret, in fact.
And speaking of Crest too, he does like
Why are you wasting your time?
Crest research, so he might know that she has two.
Well, it's a secret that could completely overturn what is considered common knowledge in Crest research.
Shut your mouth. Just let's go talk somewhere other than here. Okay, where did you hear about it?
Well, I found something while searching through Professor Hanneman's old room.
I should have figured. You haven't told anyone, have you?
Of course not. If someone else were to learn you have two crests, I might lose you as a test subject.
Please stop talking so loudly. So what if I have two crests? If you insist on speaking of it, please do so quietly.
My intuition was correct. You do have two crests.
Wait, what? Did you just...
What?
Trick is such a strong word. I think of it as testing a hypothesis. The truth is, I simply made an educated guess.
Well, now that I've confirmed it for you, there's not much I can do.
I disagree. For example, you could tell me if you were born with them, or is the source magical? What does it feel like to use both crests at the same time? Is it pleasant, painful, euphoric?
Enough is enough! I am done talking about this. As though I'd speak of this to the likes of you.
I understand her desire for privacy, but to refuse my request for knowledge? It's, well, it's rude.
Well, it certainly did sound like a bit like Hanneman at that point. Putting you out of your comfort zone, but sheesh. She would say that to Edelgard since she also has two crests, but not to Linhardt. Well, what are you gonna do? Alright, exploration time. I still had to remember that, I hope there's still no more lost items. I mean, to be fair, there's like so limited people now in this monastery that I don't think I even need to bother.
I have excitement in my heart for secret tactics. I enjoy attacks that are surprising. Yes, hunting is doing surprise attacks on prey. Surprise attacks are safe with friends. Fewer injuries. That is a wonderful thing. I have no liking for the thought of losing anyone.
I've been informed of the surprise attack. That information could be devastating were the enemy to find out. It moves me to know I've been trusted with it. Edelgard and those within the army, they really do trust me. Initially, I had my own motives for joining the Black Eagle Strike Force. But now, all I want is to support Edelgard.
So I guess what our plan is for this month's mission is that we're gonna do a surprise attack Edelgard, what are you doing in your room?
Professor, halt! Don't come in here.
Hasn't this happened before?
I thought I told you to forget about that. There's something I don't want you to see.
Is it a portrait?
So, you know about it. Yes, it's a portrait of you. I painted it myself.
Oh, really?
Quite disgraceful. I did a terrible job with it, and it looks nothing like you.
Well, thank you for that, Edelgard.
I'm happy that you appreciate my efforts, but please don't touch that door.
Oh, but I want to see. She really put her heart into it. Was that what Edelgard was looking at the conversation? I have to remember in the I have to look back in the recordings to see if that was the case.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Between Garreg Mach and Ferdiad stretch the plains of Teal'c. That's the site of the ancient battle where Nemesis, the King of Liberation, fought the prophet Saros. If our forces end up fighting our enemies there, it'll be a clash passed down through the ages.
Man, I feel like that's where it's gonna happen. Like, we're gonna go to the battlefield where it first began. I guarantee it. That's where it's gonna happen.
All right, off to the kingdom's capital we go. What's the matter? Should I not be excited? I can't help it. Everyone's got to have something to look forward to.
Dimitri, the king of Fargus. He despises Edelgard and everything she stands for.
I never saw that when I heard about him.
Feelings is not fit to be king. It is a sad situation, really.
The kings are people too.
No, they cannot. Kingly judgment has to be wholly separate from the emotions of the individual. At any rate, I find it hard to imagine that Dimitri could defeat Edelgard.
I mean, his specialty weapon is a lance, so since Edelgard is having a heavy armor and axe class, that he has no chance against her.
The Knights of Saros. They certainly know how to inflict pain. However, the demon within me will be satiated only by fighting you.
Yeah, you have your priorities.
I heard that Randolph died in battle guarding Garreg Mach. We knew each other for, wow, more than 5 years. My chest feels tight. Think about it. There's no end in sight to the fighting. I might be next. Any of us could be. Together, eh? That sounds like one of Sylvain's old pickup lines. But, yes. Let's get through this war together.
How is Sylvain doing? I hope he's been taking it easy after 5 years. Also, I didn't know she knew Randolph 5 years ago. I guess I never knew. Maybe it's because I never talked to him or seen him. Or you know, maybe he was a kid, like, earlier. Oh my god. This chair is getting squeakier and squeakier by every day. I'm starting to feel like I'm gonna need a new chair. Again.
There are so many, especially since there are stories of heroes' relics, so many in fact, that I'm led to, especially since we know of relics like this.
How have we come to this? Fighting the Archbishop and her knights? I'd never imagined. I hate this so much. Professor, I tried. I gave treatment to everyone I could, but lives were still lost. The infirmary is as much a morgue right now as it is a place of care and healing.
God, yeah. I think about this now, that if I was to take that normal route, I feel like things would have still been good around here. But I feel like this is an alternate timeline. If everybody turned against us. Armor clasp, a clasp used to connect various pieces of armor. It probably belongs to someone who favors black armor. That's Hubert.
I've got a dream, you know. I don't know if it'll come true, but it's nice to hope. Remember when I went to Bridget with Petra? I drew a picture of some of the flowers I saw there. Next time, I want to go even farther. Maybe Dagda. Maybe even past that. I want to fill a whole book with drawings of the biggest plants I see. And the carnivorous ones especially. Oh, I hope I get the chance.
That is so cute. Like, I'm now hearing about her future now. Like, what she wants to do now. Now that she's gotten over her fear of going outside. Now she wants to... What do they call it? Like a botanist? I only know this by one of Anna's skins in Overwatch. An expert in or student of the scientific study of plants. Yeah, that's it. I was actually right.
This was a trying month, but we did manage to hold Garreg Mach. If only just. The power of Set It in Flame was certainly a sight to behold. The Archbishop's supporters were strong, but with this victory, we have all but cornered the Church of Seros and its knights. The goddess above shall give way to the darkness that has long dwelled below.
Jeez. I thought the game froze for a second, but I think that was just a long pause. Like, what? Okay, so this is just a new quest. Trade among merchants has boomed since we annexed the Alliance territories. That is all well and good, but we should not leave them defenseless. Let's disaster strike. To ensure the safety of traveling merchants, take down bandits on the trade route. Once you complete this quest, a new merchant will appear in the marketplace. Okay. I just wish that I was able to find dried vegetables. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to do that with gardening, which I should have been knowing. Are you missing something?
Unfortunately.
No, you're not of black armor. I think it... Oh, you know what? It's Yaritza. That's right. It's Yaritza. He's pretty much the only person in our group that has not gotten all his lost items. And that's exactly what happened last time, too. Not even, like, Lysithea has lost items here, so it's pretty much just him.
That is mine.
Oh, wait a second. So this what this extra room was. This is our new classroom. The Cardinal's room. I never actually been in this room before. Wow. It only just has an owl feather in here. Yeah, this is our new classroom. I didn't even know about this. No wonder that was locked. Today I sent out a letter to Larian Studios in Belgium regarding their lack of fat body representation in Baldur's Gate 3. I praise how much care and effort they have put into representation of height, skin, varieties, facial structures, hairstyles, genitalia, body arts, and gender, and I express the harmful implications of ableism? Of characters with fat body types not being able to be adventurers. I also acknowledge how difficult and time-consuming it is to implement new character models, and that is worth doing so. Huh. Wow. You know what? I even said that too when I was playing Baldur's Gate. I made myself into a dwarf barbarian character. That sounds like the most basic character I could make. But they never really had any, like, body modifications that you can do. You can't make him a fat dwarf. Nor can you make your lover fat.
Now, to put this skill...
Can't let this power go unused.
Oh, wow. He also has weight -3.
It's all instinct now.
So from what I've read about weight in this game, I think it just makes you go faster. Not like in movement speed, but like animation. I actually don't really understand that mechanic in video games. Like the one game that I do understand weight for is Dark Souls. If you put too much heavy armor on you, you move slower and you dodge less. Yeah, I've been playing that a little bit with Tan, Alec, and Amanda. Although I still have a lot to learn about that game because they've got like a lot more experience than I do right now, and I just don't have the time for a bunch of games because like I have this to still finish. Did she get A+? She did. Weight -5. Oh wow. Huh. That's actually impressive. She's now lighter.
Let's put this to the test.
All right, that was a good week. So yeah, I have this game. I took a little break this past week because the next season of Overwatch came out with PvE. Now, this started a huge controversy. Yeah, this started a huge controversy going around because not only did that came out, but the game also came out on Steam, which resulted in a huge negative review bomb that people have been holding on to for more than 7 years. Just leaves a very bad taste in my mouth. It honestly really does. It just pisses me off. Like, we can't just enjoy the game. Some people say like they just wanted the game to be like what it used to be. So like what? You wanted Shield Bastion back? You wanted brainless, like no limits comp? Like you want 6 Winstons back? You want 6 Torbs back? Like I started to feel like when it first came out, it was the most brainless experience than it was when it made a meta. But now with this like new season, in fact, it's been happening a couple seasons now, it's making the game less fun and enjoyable. Like I can't even like play the game without dying. Not just because I play Junkrats, but like having to deal with that kind of comp or meta. And now seeing this new character, which I actually do like. Her name is Iliari from what looks like Peru. Like she's a Peruvian character that has the power of the sun. And I think that's a pretty cool concept. And the backstory, like the picture-to-picture cinematic for her was so like dark. So like I guess putting into a long story short, she was like probably a young defender. The Inti warriors were like children of the sun, and Iliari was starting to come out as one of them. As like I feel like she was going up in the ranks fast, and once they gave her the power of the sun to join them, apparently it was too much power that she accidentally destroyed her entire city with everyone in it. And she didn't even know what she did wrong. So now she's not only is she, like, I guess she's the lone child of the sun, but she is actually also probably also another broken character. They actually made Lifeweaver decently good now, but now it's starting to feel like a little too broken with I guess with a certain comp. So I guess like Lifeweaver, Brigitte, Torbjorn, Junker Queen? We're gonna have to see what Overwatch League is gonna be like for this year. Like, what kind of meta are we going for here? Torbjorn's actually good.